Good morning. Good morning. The sun is out this morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Oh boy. Okay. Hello, Instagram. Hello, YouTube. Matthew will be here in just 2 seconds. Okay. It's snowing outside. It is not sunshiny outside, in fact. And I am a little not super pleased about it. Is it snowing where you live? Kind of a bummer. It's like the middle of March. Not the middle of March. It's like late March. Can we be done now, please? With the snow, I would very much like the sunshine. Where are you guys at today? Where are you tuning in from? We have a whole list of questions. Matthew will be here in 2 seconds. But there's a couple questions that I want to go over that we got last time. But if you have questions for me, post them in the chat. And we will hit as many as we can today. We have several from last week that I was not able to get to. So,
testing.
welcome.
Hello,
Matthew.
everyone.
Good morning.
I'm just joining. What did I miss?
I complained about the snow.
Oh, yes, it is snowing again today, which is fun. So, there is that.
There is that.
If you are just joining us, just pop in the comments down below where you're joining from and whether it is snowing there. I am curious if this is the only place where it's snowing. I doubt it is.
Is it only snowing here
So
at our house?
let us know where you're joining from.
Could be.
And if it's snowing.
Concerned about the new format? Are you talking about the NGN Star Blue Sky one on Instagram? New York, hello New York, India,
hello,
India.
hello Instagram and hello YouTube as well. Happy Monday to everyone. Thank you for joining us. Let us jump into answering some questions. Again,
Georgia, define cold for
Oh,
me.
there you go. Cold.
You said it's
no snow, but
cold. Okay, what's
Long
the temperature
Island.
currently
Very
outside
good.
right now?
I don't know. Let's see.
I'm pretty sure it's like 13 degrees.
Well, I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, just it says 28.
28.
So that's all right.
Okay.
Okay. Let us know your
Long
nursing school
Island.
questions. We do have a couple right that we are going to jam on from last time as well. So be sure to ask your questions because if we do not get to them this time, I am keeping track of them as well as I can. And we do answer them in future lives. All past lives are on YouTube as well.
Wow, 30 degrees in Alabama and Georgia?
Oh, there you go.
30 degrees? Okay, so...
See? They're only 2 degrees
it's
warmer.
It's just not snowing there. Good morning, Ontario.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello, it's sunny there.
It's Monday night at 7:30. Okay, where are you?
Wow. Yeah, where's everyone joining
Nowhere
from?
as cold
This
as
is
New
fun.
York. Yeah, I've never been to New York. You have. But I have heard that it's quite chilly there.
Yeah, how is New York right now? About now.
Yeah.
So that is
How
fun.
cold is it in New York? Yes, everyone, tell us your temperatures outside.
That's funny.
Because this is a fun conversation. Because I'm just gonna wallow in the snow for a little while.
Yeah, I think Christina's done with winter time. Maybe that's another question. Is everyone else done with winter, or are you sad to see winter go?
Are you just so ready for summer vacation?
Yeah.
I'm just so ready. Like, we're not going anywhere. It's just... I'm just ready for the sunshine. I'm ready to be able to go outside. Your high is going to be 54. Yeah, I think our high our high today is like 36 still.
For those, I saw a couple comments about people getting ready for the NCLEX. So when are you guys taking the NCLEX?
A couple of years off, actually. Oh, did we did have questions about the NCLEX. And someone did say that they were
so done with winter and my first semester. Well, congrats.
Yes.
It's almost done, right? First semester is almost done.
Alina, I've been so done since it started. You know, I always like the winter time when it starts, and then it's like, I mean, I can do it like November, December, January, February, like the appropriate months to have winter. But then you get into like late March and April, and it's just
appropriate months. That's funny.
It's not the appropriate months.
Watching from the Philippines. Hey,
your people
My people. My parents are actually visiting there
Hello.
somewhere there right now. So that's fun.
If you see Matthew's parents
Say
walking
hi.
around the Philippines, say hello.
Yes. They're just in the Philippines somewhere.
Yep, they're hanging out.
Let's see. So yeah, okay. So a lot of people taking the NCLEX next month.
Yay.
So that would be. Do I know my months? January, February, March, April. April. You're taking it.
May,
Okay.
June, July, August, September.
0 degrees. Wait.
Is that 0 degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius? I have a feeling that's Celsius. What? It's -17? Is that Celsius or Fahrenheit? We probably should have clarified, friends. Brent.
0 degrees.
I think our lowest here this year was -35. Wasn't it -35?
Was that with wind chill or without wind chill? It's a very complicated thing talking about the weather.
Oh, I think that was with the wind chill.
Okay.
Yeah, that's too cold, but that's how it is. Okay, NCLEX is changing next month.
Oh.
Okay. So,
hooray.
if you're taking the NCLEX next month, that is the...
Oh, April 1st onwards. See, wouldn't that be funny if they say, oh, April 1st, and then say, oh, April Fools?
That would not be funny. People would be very upset about
funny.
that. Oh, Celsius. Okay, so it's 32. I see. See, we should have clarified. That's funny.
Okay, so it's officially changing April 1st onwards to the NGN. Yes. So that's exciting.
I don't know if is it April 1st?
That's what someone just said, is April 1st onwards.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
That could be true. I had actually originally heard that it was mid-April, but it could be April 1st. Totally.
See,
but
someone thinks it's funny. Oh, April Fools! Just kidding.
Not be funny.
No.
That would not be funny. I don't think anyone would laugh at that. They're like, just kidding, the NGN isn't happening. That would not be funny.
That would, yeah.
Too many people have prepped for this. So, okay, first off, the first thing I want to say about this is I have a video breakdown of the changes that they're making. So, if you can DM me on Instagram, I'll just send it to you. It's pretty cool. Because it walks you through, like, the different, like, item questions, the changes, some of the things. And you guys, did you know that you get partial credit for select all that apply questions now? Not a thing when I took the NCLEX. Just saying, I'm a little jealous.
So I guess from a high level, people are asking what's changing. So really, those are the main things that are changing. They're going to introduce different kinds of or types of questions, how they ask you questions. There are still some of the ones that are the same, like the select all that apply, that's sticking around. They're also changing maybe some of the point values again with those types of questions. So again, select all that answer. Before was either you get it right or you get it wrong. With this new
all
one, there is some partial credit. So so the point system is changing around a little bit, and the types of questions, as far as how they're asking you questions, that's changing as well. Yeah. As far as the content, that's not changing. You're still being tested on nursing concepts, which is a grand idea because they are still testing you on becoming a nurse.
Grand
right?
idea.
That would be not good if
that's
they
really
decided
the key.
to ask you questions on like engineering. That would not make any sense at all, right?
That's really the key, you guys, is that like the nursing content hasn't changed. So if you are taking the NCLEX this April or next April or 2 Aprils from now, it doesn't matter. The content is the same. It's just a difference in how they are testing you. So they're just asking you different kinds of questions, but the content is the same. And if you know the content, you're going to be just fine. Don't worry about it. So I know there's been a lot of freak out, a lot of a lot of stress about the NGN. That the thing is the NCLEX changes every few years. It just does. Like it changed, I think maybe a year or two before I took it. Like it had just changed before I started nursing school, and then it changed. I think this might be actually the first major change since I graduated, so that's been several years. But it's like, every few years they do change it. And So it's just part, like, really the ultimate goal for them is to make it so it's more realistic to what you actually do on the floor. And so I have that video, like I said, I want to send it to you. So just DM me on Instagram and I'll send it to you. But it's really cool because it shows you like how the questions are structured, and what actually happens during the test is you can actually click through a patient's chart and then you can answer questions about that patient. So it's really nice. Like, they give you a lot of information to go through. Someone asked earlier, okay, there's a lot of people joining and a lot of questions coming through, but I saw it. I don't want to scroll up too far. But someone asked, like, what's the ratio of new questions to, like, the old types of questions? And I have heard that there is a specific ratio, but I don't remember what it is. But that is also the thing, is that it's not all of them. So it's not like the whole test is going to be these case scenario questions that click through and stuff now. A lot of them still are going to be like your traditional, like, multiple choice and all of those kinds of things. So it's not the whole exam.
And then again, the trick is, again, they update the NCLEX every so often, and always the trick is, or not the trick, but always what the goal is for them to be able to accurately assess how good of a nurse you're going to be.
Yes.
That's really what all the changes are about. So again, what Christina is talking about, technology has improved, technology has changed from however many years ago.
I mean, come on. Like, Instagram wasn't even really a thing when I went to nursing school.
So they're using that and
boy.
saying, oh, now we can be able to give you scenarios or give you the tools just like on a nursing floor, just like you would be as a nurse, and be able to more accurately assess what you're looking at on the chart, or how you're looking at charts, or how you assess patients. So that's really what they're doing. So it's all really the same content. It's really all the same goal. It's just being able to assess your abilities as a nurse better is really what they're getting at. So again, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Definitely DM Christina to get that video, just so you're not shocked when you go into it that there are going to be these new kinds of questions. But honestly, it will not affect you too much moving forward, because as long as you know the content and you're prepared, then you're going to be fine.
Yep.
So people are asking, is it harder or is it easier? I would say that in the final assessment, it's a wash. It's going to be an assessment for your nursing skills. So hone your nursing skills, be the best nurse you can be, and you'll be fine.
So that is something to know. There is always, this is, okay, so just like, remember that this is normal. Okay, remember that this is normal. It happens a lot. The NCLEX changes. Now, it is important to know, though, that there is always a slight drop in the passing rate. Now, you can overcome that by obviously knowing the lecture content, not freaking out about the new test questions, like the types, and just familiarizing yourself with the new types of test questions. You know, when we see a drop in passing rate, it's like either you didn't know the content or you just weren't familiar with the questions, right? So make sure, like, you don't want to get to the NGN and have that be the first time you see those types of questions. You need to practice beforehand. Like we always say, make sure that you're doing practice questions, not only to deepen your understanding of the content, but just to get familiar with how those questions are asked. And the more often you answer those questions, the more comfortable you're going to get with it. That's going to increase your likelihood of passing, right? Lisa, you asked if you get partial credit for SATA. Yes, you do.
So here's another thing too. A thing that we talk about a lot is getting in the right mindset, focusing on the right things, and making sure that your mindset is in the right place. Because if you're going in, again, being worried about, oh, it's a new format, or even worse, unconsciously not studying as hard.
Yeah, because you have
a reason in your mind, in the back of your mind, you have a reason that if you failed, you can always say, oh, it's the new NGN.
Yeah.
No, that's not the right mindset.
Right.
Study hard.
Yep. You'll do fine.
Let up on the gas just because it's a new NCLEX and you have this built-in excuse if you don't do well. No.
Yeah.
No, change your mindset. It's just a test. It's just like any of your other exams.
Yep.
Study hard for it.
The vast majority of students
and you'll be fine.
The vast majority. I know there's like a lot of stuff out there that like, 15% of nursing students don't pass the NCLEX the first time. Things like that. Sure, I mean, 15%, but that's 85% who pass it, friends. Like, why do we have to hone in on the 15% that don't, right? When you're going into the NCLEX, like, 85% is a lot. So, you'll be fine.
Yep, just study the nursing content. Be confident in your nursing content. The other thing, too, is you don't need 100%. You don't need to get every single question right,
You do
right?
not
There's
need to
someone
get every
that was
single
asking,
question
okay,
right.
how many questions you need to get right to pass, and all that. I'm not
And
sure if we
it's
know.
dynamic, which is
Yeah.
really interesting. Like, what? So the craziest thing is, okay, here's a story, you guys. When I took the NCLEX, I could definitely tell when I missed a question because they kept asking me similar questions to the one that I missed. So that's kind of a bummer because you get more questions like the one that you had missed so that they can test your competency on that thing. Does that make sense? So you don't have to get them all right on the NCLEX. Like, don't think that you have to get them all right. What they're trying to do, like, the test is dynamic. It's on a computer. It's dynamic based on your answers. So if you're doing really well, yes, you're going to get less questions. But don't count yourself out. You can hit the max number and still pass because they're just giving you more questions to try to test your competency. Just like Matthew just said, they're trying to test your baseline competency as a new nurse. Like, they don't expect you to know everything about everything. They're expecting you to be safe and competent. All right, so they're just trying to test you for as real life as they can. So that's why they're giving you like the patient charts now and the stuff to click through. But they just want to know that you can provide safe and competent care to your patients. That's what's expected of you. You are not expected to know like everything about titration rates and like all these, things and how to intubate a patient or whatever. You just need to know the basic competencies of a new nurse. You just have to provide safe and competent care. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, so don't get too caught up in, I have to get every single answer right. Just kind of like what we talk about in your nursing classes too, or your other nursing exams, is that you don't need to read every single thing in the textbook. You don't need to memorize 100% of everything in order to pass nursing school. No, you need to focus on the things that matter, and that's same with the NCLEX as well. You need to focus on the things that matter.
Bingo! That's a good way to say it. Good job.
You're right.
So, let's talk about real quick test taking strategies. And this is really funny actually because this I'm actually kind of reworking through with our nursing SOS members. Have you guys been watching my Instagram stories and stuff? And watching our emails? Because we have a ton of new stuff coming for you. Like about 3,000 things that are coming. We have been working so hard, not only on new things for the membership, but also just new things in general, and you're gonna love it. And this test taking strategies is one of them. So I'm working on it. Stay tuned. Watch my Instagram stories. If you're not, if you don't subscribe to our emails, what are you doing? Make sure you subscribe to our emails. Because I send some really great emails, and this will probably be one of them. So test taking strategies are really important because it's funny, like when you go into an exam, like so often you think, right, like we get in this mindset, like we've been talking about, is you have to know everything about everything, but you really don't. You just have to know like the key things. And the crazy thing is that there are some really great test taking strategies that you can use in order to pick the correct answer, even if you don't know what that correct answer is, because they give you clues in the question, which is really nice. So, I think I'll just leave it at that because I have something coming for you that I will post on my Instagram stories with a breakdown. A couple things that I do want, maybe 3 things that I do want to mention that will really help you are priority questions. Anytime you answer a priority question. So priority question is anything that asks you what would be your initial action, what would be your first response, what's the first action you would do. That's a priority question. When the test is asking you, okay, what are you going to do first to help this patient? So when you come to a priority question like that, when the test is asking you what would you do first, you really have to look at the answers and rank them based on how important they are. And there's 3 principles that you'll use to do this. The first one is the ABCs. Always first. Airway, breathing, and circulation. If your patient's airway is not clear, if they are not breathing, if their blood is not circulating, game over. Like nothing else matters, right? ABCs are always first. So make sure that you assess that first. Airway, breathing, circulation. Most important thing, okay? So if you look at the answers and there's something to do with the ABCs, that's going to be the answer. Okay, the next principle is Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs. This is very similar to the ABCs because the first base, like the foundation of Maslow's hierarchy, is physiological needs, which are the ABCs. And then the next one up is safety needs. So the key about Maslow's hierarchy is that, like, let's say you have a patient who has a compromised respiratory system, some pneumothorax or whatever. And they are having difficulty breathing, obviously. And if the questions there are, or the answers outline something like educate the patient and the family on certain things about the condition, or help the patient overcome their anxiety, that could be a big one. Or if there's another answer. If those 2 answers are like in conjunction with another answer that's like, make sure that they are, that their airway is clear, make sure that they are ventilating properly, right? You're going to choose that one. Like, we're not worried about their anxiety. We're not worried about teaching the family right now. We're worried about them breathing, right? So that is how Maslow's hierarchy of needs works. These can be quite tricky because it feels like when you look at a test question like that, it feels like, oh, I want to help them feel better. Like, I want to help them not be nervous and not be scared. Or I want the family to stop freaking out, right? So I need to talk to them. No. Your first priority is to make sure that patient is breathing. Does that make sense? Now just watch for this on your exams because they can be kind of tricky. Make sure that you're going up Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You're solving for those baseline needs first, which are physiological needs and safety needs, before you move up the ladder to the self-esteem, the self-actualization, the love and belonging, all of that. And then the third one is the nursing process. Now, the key here is that you are always assessing your patient first. Friends, if you are giving a medication to a patient, if you are doing any intervention with a patient at all, ever, you have to assess your patient first. Now, this is another tricky one that they can do on the NCLEX and on your nursing school exams, because it seems like, okay, so another example, like if the patient had like respiratory compromise, like we were just talking about. If the patient had respiratory compromise, one of the answers could be like, give them oxygen, right? Give them oxygen right away. But you need to be very careful. Look through those answers and make sure that there's nothing else to assess for. Like making sure that you're checking, how they're breathing. Are they really having a hard time breathing, or is that just what the patient is saying, right? So if the patient's telling you, I think I'm having a tough time breathing, like I feel pressure on my chest, or I feel like it's hard to breathe, like something's on top of me or something, whatever the patient could say, make sure that you are assessing their oxygen saturation. Make sure you are assessing their oxygenation, their respiratory rate, their breathing patterns. Make sure that you are actually assessing them, not just doing an intervention right away. Okay? That's very, very important. We always assess our patients first before doing an intervention. The NCLEX is going to be watching for that. Okay? This is part of safe nursing care. Safe and competent nursing care. You have to assess your patient first, and then you can do the interventions. Now, so that's the first test taking strategy. Now, the second one I want you to remember, which is very common, is calling the doctor. You're going to see.
It's my favorite answer.
It is Matthew's favorite answer. He's not a nurse, by the way.
Because then you don't have to do anything, which is probably a really good hint, right? If a test is saying, oh yeah, you don't have to do anything, just call the doctor. That's probably a red flag saying that.
Don't choose that answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's probably not a good choice.
Yes. Yes. If there's an answer that says call the doctor, you need to be very, very careful before you choose that answer. Like, make sure that there's absolutely nothing else you can do as the nurse to help that patient. Okay, make sure that there's nothing to assess for, because here's the thing, and here's really what the NCLEX is kind of looking for, is when you call the doctor, you have to make sure you have all the information that that doctor needs to make a decision. Okay, so oftentimes that will be in another assessment. So let's say, like, if you have a patient, in the answers it says like assess this or do this intervention or call the doctor. Just really make sure that that assessment is not the right answer. Okay, like go through it, check it with the patient scenario, the case study that they give you. Just make sure there's nothing else that you can do as the nurse to help that patient, or anything that the doctor would need to know to make a decision. All right, because you likely would need to assess that thing first before you call the doctor. Does that make sense? Because the doctor would need to know that thing first. So it's like, your patient's not breathing well. Here's the, assess their oxygen saturation, assess their respiratory rate and all those things, or call the doctor. You're going to want to assess those things first before you call the doctor. Is that making sense? Now, the third principle that they will get you on is pain. This is a lot like we talked about with the whole anxiety thing. Like, we want our patients to feel good. We want them to feel better. We don't want the families to be freaking out. We want the patient to be comfortable. But pain is not, like, ever the correct answer. So when you are solving for a priority problem, pain is rarely an emergency. Like, basically never. That's rarely going to be the correct answer in an emergency. Like, it's tough to say, because, like I said, we want our patients to be comfortable, but I am much more concerned about my patient breathing than I am about them being in pain. Does that make sense? So there's 3 principles for you that you absolutely have to remember. I have a ton more, like a ton more. And so that's why I'm going to create a guide for you. And so stay tuned for that. I'm going to put it, I'll post about it on stories, on my Instagram stories. I will probably send an email about it to if you get my emails, make sure you get those emails so that you know when we release new things. Like I said, you guys, we have about 3,000 things coming for you over the next weeks actually now, and perhaps even a couple of months, because we just have so much we've been working on. It's crazy. I was telling Matthew last week, like, oh man, this is just going to be so great when we have all of these projects done, because right now we have so many, we're just juggling things all over the place. We have projects everywhere and new stuff coming, and it's incredible. You're going to be so excited about it. So I'm really excited to give it to you. So stay tuned. I'll post about it on my stories and in the emails. So, test taking, NCLEX. Any last minute questions about NCLEX? I think we're just jamming on NCLEX today. On Wednesday, I want to talk about how to get the. Okay, so we got a really cool question last week. I study every day and I know the info, but I'm still not getting the exam grades that I want. What can I do? We're gonna answer that on Wednesday. And next week, you guys, on Sunday, so 6 days from now, the Nursing SOS membership community opens for enrollment. It only opens a couple times a year, so make sure that you join now when it opens on Sunday. Here's the thing. So this is really, this is a bummer. So what happens oftentimes is that students put off joining, and then because you're doing well, you're doing okay, right? Students are doing okay, typically in the beginning of the term, they're doing okay, so they don't join. And then by the time enrollment opens again, they're not doing well at all. So if you are really wanting the support in nursing school, if you do not want to figure it out yourself, that's what we do. We walk you through every single thing you need to know to pass your exams. You do not have to stress. You do not have to be overwhelmed. You do not have to freak out about knowing everything yourself. We teach it to you. Let us teach it to you. We have our tutor form. We have tutor hours. If you have a question, talk to one of our nursing tutors. Come to a tutor hour. Come to a coaching call. Watch any of the videos we have. We have hundreds of step-by-step nursing lectures inside the community that walk you through everything you need to know. So it is not just, we don't just give you a video and let you figure it out yourself. We are here to hold your hand the whole way through. So don't wait until you are on the verge of not passing. Okay, because that's what's been happening a lot. Students put it off. They say, well, it's too, I can't commit to that right now, or it's too expensive, or whatever. But tell me, friend, what is more expensive? Like, joining the community, it's $49 a month. That's it. Like, joining the community or wasting thousands of dollars because you didn't pass the term. Seriously. Like, what's more expensive? I just don't understand. So, make sure that you don't put it off. Like, let us help you, okay? Let us help you pass so you don't have to freak out about things. You don't have to be stressed. You don't have to figure it out yourself. You don't have to read your entire textbook. No. Just come to the tutor hours. Watch the videos. And let us help you.
And what's that quote that it's a fun quote that I've heard a long, long time ago is when's the best time to build a well? It's not when you're thirsty.
Yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So you need to dig a well way before you're thirsty. If you're thirsty already and you try and build a well, it's not going to help you very much, right?
That's a great analogy.
So in the same way, we can definitely help. Yeah. But if you are waiting till finals week and saying, oh no, my grade's not quite there, I bet I can join, and in a couple days, they're going to help me pass.
We can certainly help you on that final, the thing is that you wouldn't be like on the verge of passing, like you wouldn't be teetering that line, right? Had you have been a member for the last 3 months. Does that make sense? So make sure that you don't get to that point where you're like right in the line. We do not want that to happen. You do not need that stress in your life.
Yeah, definitely. Change your mindset and change the way you go about doing things so that you are stress-free, a little less anxiety.
Yep.
You have everything under control by the time you get in finals week rather than scrambling on trying to get that C or whatever you need in order to pass.
Typically what happens is when you're like riding the line on nursing school, you have to get an A plus on your final, right? And that's not a good place to be, my friend. Not a good place to be. So let us help you, okay? The Nursing SOS membership community opens on Sunday. Be sure to join. Stay tuned for it. There's a link in my bio on Instagram to join the VIP waitlist. So I will email you right when the doors open so you don't miss it.
And on YouTube, the link is in the description of our lives. It's nursingschoolofsuccess.com/join.
Check you out.
Yeah, it's always been there. I always just type it in the comments because I can. And I guess I can do that now anyway.
There you go. Matthew will type it in the comments for you on Instagram.
But yeah.
Yes, it is in my bio on Instagram, and it is in the description on YouTube. So yes, and like I said, you guys, we have about 3,000 new things coming for you as Nursing SOS members. It's gonna just totally blow your mind. We have so many amazing new resources. I think I recorded like 24 new videos for you. We've got tons of new like cheat sheets, study guides, stuff. We've just got a ton of stuff coming. Like I said, like test taking strategies. Man, I mean, we have so much. I can't even keep it straight in my mind anymore.
So, we're going to cover this question, right? Next time. I study every day and I know the info, but I'm still not getting the exam grades that I want. What can I do? So I'm curious to those out there watching right now. Does that feel like you as well? That you feel like you study every day, that you feel like you're studying nonstop, that you feel like you know the information, but your exam grades don't show that. Does that feel like you? Because we'll be talking about that. Also, the YouTube that is posting today in just a couple hours is about how to study less and still pass.
Yeah.
So be sure to subscribe and hit the bell. So on YouTube or on Instagram, go to YouTube. Go to YouTube and then go do that. That posts in just a little bit, and that'll help you a little bit, but also get you in the right mindset for our live when we do talk about that.
100%.
Yeah. So
this was so great, you guys.
Cool.
You're gonna do fabulous on the NCLEX. Like, don't worry. Okay, don't worry about it. I know everyone's freaking out about it. You do not have to be the person that's freaking out about it. Okay. Sweet. Okay, we'll see you on Wednesday, you guys. Same time, same place. In the meantime, watch my Instagram stories.
Definitely.
Because I will probably do a video of the snow and complain about that today.
If you want to hear Christine complain, go ahead and
about the snow. Okay.
All right.
Have a great day, you guys.
Talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.